I want to say a little about a male 20th century American writer. Most people hearing that would think that I meant Hemingway or Faulkner, maybe Fitzgerald. No, I want to talk about LAmour. The reason for this is simple. Someone gave me 2 old paperback books, both by LAmour. LAmour, with that fabulous name, was a sensationally prolific writer. I think he wrote over 100 books, something like that, and he had worldwide sales in the millions. An extremely popular author. I'm not sure anyone would recognize him today, even though many of his books were made into movies. This is because he wrote westerns, and westerns, once the most popular genre in movies and television, do not appear now. As the West physically and as a notion has disappeared, so has the Western, with the occasional notable exception. I've read some books by LAmour, including Last of the Breed, in which the hero traverses Siberia on foot and destroys an entire Soviet battalion, and, as a reader, I believed every word of it. The first of the paperbacks I read was a thin one, and I can't recall the title, even though I enjoyed it. The second book was more substantial, close to 500 pages, a more sizable investment for both the writer and the reader. It was called The Lonesome Gods. It was an historical novel as well as a coming-of-age novel. LAmour was extremely dedicated to the history of California, of the Spaniards who came there, the Indians who lived there, and the ones who had been there before them, of whom only traces remain. The so-called Californios, having broken ties with Mexico, were living in a kind of Eden, enjoying great prosperity with very little effort, but that was about to change, rapidly, with the advance of the Anglos, who would claim land and water and would commence building cities, centers of commerce, putting an end to all other ways of life. LAmour is nearly reverent when it comes to the land. He has a philosophy which is simple but far-reaching. If you respect the land by the way you live on it, you will connect with its vast supplies of life and strength. If you destroy the land or strive against it, you are working toward your own eventual defeat. The land will not support you, and without the land, you are nothing. He covers it all, the coastal areas, the canyons, valleys, and washes, and most of all, the desert, the Mojave, and the surrounding mountains. He lovingly recreates the brutality and beauty of the desert. All of the people living on it and around it will come and go, but the land will remain, the closest we can know of eternity. A man is known and valued by his relation to the land. A good man respects the land, studies it intently, constantly, sees it, listens to it, smells it, tastes it, touches it, learns to live with it, taking what it offers, understanding what it needs, what it demands. The desert in this book is a mystery, a living hell, something to be avoided by the people who will come to live in what will be the city of Los Angeles. That desert is the principal character in this book, what might be called the hero of the story. The human protagonist is a young boy who must learn to live in the desert, who must not fear it, nor fear anything. Learning is the way to overcome fear. The book is very concerned with education in all its aspects. It is like a book by Dickens set in the desert, depicting the life of a boy as he becomes a man. LAmour constantly asks, what is a man, and how should he act, and what should he value? Understanding that he is but a scrap in the universe, what should he do with his life? Life is an adventure. As the boy says, the trouble with a situation like this was that a man had to keep going forward until there was no turning back. Laid over this is a potboiler of a plot, filled with dark pasts, threatening secrets, vicious killers, and generous helpings of love, hate, and lives twisted out of shape by revenge. Their desires are as big as the canvas on which they are portrayed, and if it all seems very furious and important, we can shift over into the perspective of the land and the gods who were once so reverently worshipped, but whose people, with all their burning wants and secrets and desires, are now gone, leaving no one to speak their names.